Hello, welcome back to the garden. Today is Tuesday the 21st of March, which I have literally about a moment ago realised it was the first day of spring yesterday. We've had really terrible weather the last 10 days or so now actually, so coming out in the garden hasn't really been that appealing, to be honest. So I've been inside doing those kind of jobs that can be done when it's raining. So today we are out in the greenhouse. We're not going to be in here for long because we are going to be putting in my onion sets. These onion sets are called Stew-on. I started these off in these module trays back in January. It was the 6th of January. They have been in these module trays ever since, so quite a long time, but luckily for them I placed them on top of my raised bed. So as you can see there, they've got quite a lot of growth out the bottom, but the roots have been able to penetrate into the top layer of all of that compost, so they have managed to still get some nutrients from the soil below, because after around about 6 weeks or so, any compost that any of your plants are in will probably be defunct of nutrition. So today though, usually I actually plant my onions in October time, but I didn't do that this year because I gave my allotment back. So usually at this time they would already be in the ground, but I really need these lovely seed trays back now because I need to be getting on and sowing some seeds. So in today's video we are going to be planting out these onion sets down in a bed on my patio. Before we head down to the patio now and get these planted, because it's still raining outside and I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film down there, I'll quickly talk you through my plan for getting them in the ground today. Now, usually I wouldn't have let them grow like this before I'd put them in. So I kind of would make a big trench and cover over the onions. So I will still be doing that today, but I will probably just cover them all the way to the tip. So the soil level is where my hands are. And the bed, I've already gave it a forking over a couple of weeks ago. And that bed has not had anything growing in it for a couple of years. It was a flower bed that has been taken back to kind of just the bare earth. Last year I had a lovely mulch of wood chips over the top, then I put the fallen leaves on top of there, but apart from that it's had nothing added to it and nothing growing in it for about a year. So before I dig a trench today and put those onions in, I am going to put probably about 10 litres of manure in there as well, just to help it out. Now, if you've not grown onions before or you're new to growing, you might not know that onions can suffer with something called rust, which generally just looks like a bit of rust on the leaves. Now that is caused by a fungus, but generally that is caused because you've got too much nitrogen in the soil, and farmyard manure has lots of nitrogen in. So I'm not going to be putting loads in there today, just a bit, and even if your plants do get rust, it's absolutely fine, to be honest. You still will get a harvest and it shouldn't affect the harvest too much, but obviously it's something that you want to avoid if possible, because obviously you want your plants to have the best chance of growing big and fat for you, so you have a big fat harvest. But once I've done that today and covered most of the bulb with soil, we're going to be putting a really thick layer of wood chip over the top. Now I've got loads of wood chip down at my feet here, so I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all together. Excuse the mess around me because this greenhouse is already getting a bit overloaded, but this is all wood chip that I have made from cutting back things in my woodland, and this is going to be absolutely amazing. One thing I really want to do this year is use as much mulch as possible. I don't want to be watering if I don't have to, and using a really thick layer of wood chip like this will also mean I'm not going to be running around trying to weed everywhere. What we're going to do now is get set up ready to get these planted. So we'll take down the wood chip to the patio, then bring the manure up because that is down by my back door, and then hopefully it will hold off raining. It has seemed to stop now, so very, very exciting. And do you know what, as well as getting them in the ground, I am so excited to be getting my seed trays back because we are in spring now, so this really is a time that I can get out here and get everything sown. I do feel like I'm quite behind this year actually, just because the weather has been so rubbish, but hopefully we're turning a corner now because it is spring. So I will see you on the patio. This manure is so heavy because I've left it out in the rain since I got it about 3 weeks ago now, so it's just full of water. Oh. So here is the bed that we are going to be putting the onions in. You might be wondering why I want to grow onion sets on my patio, but at the moment this bed here will be perennial flowers, shrubs and things, but that will be done later, maybe kind of in the autumn or something like that. So for this season I can grow my onions in here, and then once they've been harvested I can then turn it round and sort it and plant it all up with lots of nice plants. But while it's not being used, it's just really just stupid to let it go fallow for another year. I've only bought 4 of the wood chips down here. I'll leave the other one up in the greenhouse because I'm planning on also using mulch in the greenhouse too. Now, another reason that it is really good to mulch around your onions is because an onion is actually a really shallow rooted plant, which means if you get loads of weeds around it and you want to hoe a lot, or you want to be picking out all of the weeds from around it, you can really easily disturb the onion's roots. So hopefully we will see that by using this mulch this year we will get kind of a really low maintenance crop, and I don't have to worry about damaging those roots at all. There seems to be a bit of a break in the rain. It's still spitting, but it's not as bad as it was earlier. So it's going to be all hands on deck now. So hopefully I'll be able to get them in and film it before the heavens open again. What I'm going to do first, obviously, is get that manure down, mix that in a little bit, and then we'll probably be putting the onions in maybe 2 or 3 rows. I haven't worked it out, so maybe I'll take them all out of the modules and kind of space them out. And then once I've done that, we can get them planted. So as I mentioned, I'm probably just going to put half of this down, but it's actually really heavy, so how I'm going to get it out. Right, that's about half, I think. Just going to quickly fork this in just a tiny little bit. As I mentioned, we gave it a really lovely fork over the other day, so the soil is lovely and soft. Because it's been fallow for a year before, even though it was mulched as well, because it's just been rained on and nothing's been growing in it, it's got quite compacted. So it was lovely to give it a quick weed and turn it over. What's brilliant as well, by using that wood chip last season, that has now been kind of incorporated into the ground, and where it hasn't quite fully composted down, that will hold on to moisture in the ground and just add to the soil structure a bit. You'll also notice that we're on a bit of a slope here. We've got my greenhouse up there. You can probably see my kitchen down there. So hopefully them growing on a slant isn't going to make too much of a difference, but who knows. Right, I'm pretty happy with that now, so I'm going to get them out and we'll put them in a row and see what the spacing is going to look like. Oh, look at the roots on these. I think they're definitely going to be very happy to be put in the ground today. Okay, we're probably going to need a little bit more room actually, because now I'm spreading these out to where I'd want their spacing to be. We're only on the first tray and we're already starting to run out of space. Oh no, maybe I'm going to have to do plan B with these and make a new bed very quickly. When I first kind of got into gardening, I always used to really kind of study up on the spacings for things and give them as much room as possible down at the allotment. But over the years, I kind of just feel like, do you know what? That's a waste of space. And I just try and get them kind of close together as possible. It stopped raining for a bit, thankfully, and I can see there is blue sky under there. So if the clouds just move out of the way, it'll be absolutely lovely out here. Anyway, all those onions are now in, but I've made a mistake, haven't I? Because one tray of onions are in, probably a little bit too close for my liking. I've still got this tray and half a tray down there. So I don't know, I just thought when I was thinking about it, I'm sure they'd all go in, but obviously they're not going to. So you probably all thought that when you were watching. But anyway, I now have to work out where these are going to go because I definitely don't want to waste them and I really do want to get an onion harvest. So anyway, that bed is sorted now and ready for the wood chip. So we're going to get that done now and then hopefully they're going to grow really nicely. So when it comes to wood chip, I'm just going to try and be quite gentle when applying it. And as this is homemade wood chip, you can probably see there's quite a few larger twigs on it, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Here comes the rain again. One thing I've actually learnt now is I probably should have put the wood chip down first and then planted the onions into it because this is really fiddly, to be honest. So that's all of the onions mulched now. So I think there's about 50 in here. You probably can't see from where you are all of the green shoots, but from where I am, definitely can see lots of those. I only used 2 of the bags of mulch. I think I'll probably, once they've grown a bit more, add another layer on. At the moment, it looks quite thick and very white, but once the wood chips kind of aged a bit, it'll probably look quite muddy again. There's probably quite a few of you watching this now that are wondering why I'm using wood chip as a mulch, because obviously as the wood chip rots down, it takes nitrogen from the soil. Everyone really worries about that because it's going to take away from the crop. But obviously once it has broken down, that nitrogen does go back into the soil. You can always add a feed if you're really worried, but adding that mulch is going to mean that I don't need to use as much water. It's going to be much easier and lower maintenance. And although I'm explaining this now, I'll probably still have lots of comments on the video because people haven't got this far. But if you have got this far on the video, I really hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously this is me just putting the onions in today, but I've done quite a lot of onion videos and I've got quite a few years of harvest videos too. So I'll add those down below now in the description of the video, above in the cards. I've had some really big harvests over the years and I've been pretty excited about them. So please go and watch those. If you are new here, really, I hope you have enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of all of my latest videos. And by liking the video, it really helps YouTube promote it to other people. So, please give it a good like too. Anyway, that is enough of me doing a bit of self-promotion there, but YouTube have some videos up now on this screen that they think you'll like. So please go ahead and watch those and I'll catch up with you in the next episode. Bye.